Hey y'all, hey, it's your girl Tay. Welcome to Live with Tay, where I have real conversations with dope people you should know. And I always put you down with places, events, and new music that you need to check out. I'm going to get straight to it today because if you follow me on social media, y'all already know it's a Lalah holiday day on Live with Tay because today my special guest is none other than five-time Grammy Award-winning songstress extraordinaire, musical icon, and yes, she is the daughter of Donny Hathaway. Why people still ask that question, I do not have any earthly idea, but welcome to Live with Tay, aka my fave, Miss Lalah Hathaway.
Hey, how are ya?
Welcome, 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 welcome.
Thank
I'm so
you.
glad to have you on the show today.
Thank you for having me.
No, thank you, thank you. You have just gotten done with one of the best tours that,
Thank
in my
you.
opinion, that you have done.
I'm
People
so
know
sad it's over.
it's over.
I'm sad that the this chunk of it is over. I'm feeling like we're gonna pick it up, but this part where we were on the bus and going, that part we're done for right now. And so I'm so
You get
sad.
a little break. Oh, well,
Yeah,
we're
just
sad
a
too.
little break.
Just a little break. And the last leg of it, you had to go through the storms. So it was storming in Atlanta,
It was
and
stormy in Atlanta.
and
It
then
wasn't.
y'all
It
went.
wasn't. I don't want anybody hurt. I don't want anyone to lose power. But the way I crave a natural disaster, I just like, my little cousins are without power still, and they live in the Carolinas, and so I know it's hard for people. But listen, I was like a snow day kid. Like if it was going to rain,
Let it
it's,
flood on.
it's very exciting for me. I don't want anybody hurt. I don't want any loss of property. But if we could miss a day of school and sit inside and look at the weather and watch the sky, I'm all for it.
So you're off for the inside.
Yeah.
Inside days. Hey, it's nothing wrong with that. It's nothing wrong with that. But we were all happy that you were able to arrive. Atlanta was going crazy. Like, is the show still gonna go on? And
Yeah.
yes, it went on. And so let's get into this right here, Vanta Black. One of the most people say I say it all the time. You say all of them are your favorite, but honestly, I do believe that this body of work is something extra special. Can you tell us, Vanta Black is the darkest pigment? Why did you pick that title for this?
I really liked the way the word sounded coming out of my mouth. I really liked how it felt to say. And then I thought, well, maybe I can write a song about this because I'm as black as I've ever been right now at this point in history. And
Mhm.
so I started experimenting with how it felt to really create from that standpoint. And I think I didn't know I had a full body of work until almost like a couple of years after I started writing. Probably the first song we wrote, Juana Reason and I wrote, was Returning. And we were doing that at the top of the pandemic, like, right at the top of the pandemic, and just inside and on Zoom and texting ideas and singing with the headphones and texting those vocals and having him plug them in. So yeah, the record got made over the course of the last like three and a half years,
Ooh.
and I didn't even realize I was making a whole body of work until I stood back and looked at the whole body of work.
Mm. Making this, so creating it, I love you and Phil together definitely have created some magic,
Yeah.
and this is definitely some magic. And so as you're piecing it together, you've got some amazing collaborations on here: Common, Rhapsody, Willow, Gerald Albright, my personal favorite with Michael
Look
McDonald.
at that.
Michael McDonald.
I know.
Right. So,
Same.
like, is that how you were feeling? So I'm like,
Absolutely.
how do they come in the studio with Lalah Hathaway?
There's footage of me while he's in the booth, like, he's such an indelible mark on my childhood,
Mm-hmm.
and so professional, just exactly what I dreamed he would be,
I love
exactly what I hope someone dreams I would be, and that I show up just like that. He
Yeah.
just showed up ready to work and to take the direction, and he liked the song. And Phil and I just were, I mean, there were moments where he was singing and we were just looking at each other in the studio like, what?
This is happening.
How did this happen to us?
Yeah.
We were amazed, and I feel so lucky. All of my collaborations have made me feel a way. I just always feel so grateful and blessed to work with great people, and when they come for me, it's such an honor.
Listen, I've said you are one of the collaboration like queens when you get on bodies of work. And I love about you as an artist, I've seen you get with some what people would call top talent. And then people that are just starting out, I see you get with them and
Yeah.
just create the magic. And so, as an artist, why do you feel collaborations are so impactful to the creativity or the creativeness of
Yeah.
music?
I mean, music and art do not live in a vacuum, and there are people that can do everything. Like Phil can do everything.
Hmm.
Warren Campbell can do everything. Juana Reza can do everything. Willow can probably do everything. I can do a lot of things. But what I love is the feedback and the bouncing. It's a conversation.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's meant to be a monologue, but most times for me, it's meant to be a conversation. And so to be able to have these conversations at this level with people who, I hope and pray that their greatness rubs off on me is
Mhm.
really what gives the thing so much fluidity and color and cohesion and information. And so
Mm.
that's important to me.
I love it. I love it. And so, with this body of work with Vanta Black, tell us, because we want to be in the studio with you. Give us a memorable moment in the studio while making Vanta Black.
Oh gosh, there are so many. I mean, it's what's interesting is that the record, like I said, started at the top of the pandemic. So
Hmm.
a lot of this record was not made in a studio.
Oh.
Some of it was made in a studio. Some of it was made at Phil's house. Some of it was made at Juana Reza's house. Some of it was made at Warren's mom and dad's house. You know what I mean? So I have so many moments over the last 4 years where I was able to stand back and have a good laugh, or just really feel like, wow, this feels different to me, or this feels great, or,
Hmm.
or how can we, to conceptualize the first song on the record and call it Black without naming it that,
Mm.
and then to send it off to rap and have her return it and have the first thing she says be Black. No one told her what it was called.
Wow.
There's so much synchronicity in so many of the things, and so I feel really lucky to have been involved in this project, even though it's mine. I feel really lucky to be a part of it.
Well, we love it. We love it. And as Layla Holics and as people that have loved you since 1990,
Yeah,
1990 Layla and 2024 Layla.
I
How
know.
how do you sum up the evolution of what we've got over these years?
You know what's crazy is people always say like, "What's the difference between 1990 and now?" And the answer is time
Hmm.
and evolution and all of those things you think that affect you every day and affect all the people around you every day. I am growing up. I sometimes regress in my growth. I
Hmm.
take a step forward and two steps back. And then
Hmm.
sometimes I'll leap 5 steps forward. But it's all this information, all this misinformation, all of the, looking at the news, watching what's happening in the world, seeing what's going on my block.
Hmm.
It has been a fascinating last few years, I have to say that. And everything that we've watched since like 2008 or 10 up until now
Hmm.
has really informed really how Black I feel. There's no other way to put it.
Yeah.
But, you know,
I
it's
love
largely time.
Yeah. Well, I love the fact that even from your artistry, even from in the beginning, baby, heaven only knows all of those things, you've always consistently just grown and always given us good, authentic music.
Thank you.
People ask me all the time, I feel like I'm a Layla Hathaway educator because people will say, well, who is Lalah Hathaway. Well, let me educate you on who this is, because the music, you just create music that is so authentic and touches people at
Thank
their core.
thank
Um, and going to the shows, people say all the time, we get together and we watch and we talk, and people are like, I remember this song helped me get through this, and this song helped me through this. As an artist, how do you feel when you hear people come and tell you that that song helped them, or took them out of a dark place?
Yeah, I'm so honored because, I mean, for so much of my life, people have said to me, like, your father's records, saved my marriage or helped me get through a divorce, or when my mother died, we sang, or, so many people have shared their life stories with me and how this music has affected their lives. And
Mm-hmm.
so to posit that I am affecting people's lives in that way is tremendous. And
Mm-hmm.
used to feel like kind of a heavy burden to me. And now I really welcome it. I really am thankful that I'm able to touch people's lives in that way. And I know because music is so important to me and has touched my life in that way. And so I'm really honored.
I love it. I love it. One of my, this is a Shantaeism, a Tayism. This has not, Lalah don't have nothing. She did not say nothing pertaining to the comment that I'm about to say. So I asked people, tell me a question. If you had the opportunity to sit down with Lalah, what would be a question you would ask her, right? Well, will she do a duet with her father? Ladies and gentlemen, she created a duet with her father. It's called This Christmas, one of my favorite all-time Christmas songs. And now that you've done it with your father, it makes me even more happy. Tell us about the evolution of being
Yeah.
able to do that.
People used to ask, as soon as Natalie Cole did it, it was a thing. People, I mean, up until like last week, people ask me all the time, like, would you ever consider, doing something with your father? And I talked to Natalie about it, just like little known fact, she sang on my first album. And we stood in the parking lot and she said, you should do at least one song, Lalah. Do one song. Pick one and do it. I didn't feel like it was a conversation that could ever be had naturally. And so in
Mm-hmm.
my mind, it didn't seem like something I wanted to do.
Mm.
Fast forward, the label hit me and said, hey, we found something in a vault. And it sounds like a demo or maybe a rehearsal. Would you like to hear it? And I said, yes, I would. And lo and behold, it was so perfect for me. It was slower, it had room, the instrumentation was a little bit different. And to be able to, I always liken it to having a conversation, to be
Mm-hmm.
able to create what feels like it would be the conversation for me was so tremendous. And I did
Mm.
that with my buddy Phil Boudreau.
We love Phil.
We Phil's a Superman. We already know. It's all you don't even know. He's a lot of things. But to create the environment in his room for me to
Mm.
feel safe and not even understanding how scared I was really to approach it until I really approached it.
Mm-hmm.
And to have that safety net of knowing that it's going to be great, it's
Yeah.
going to sound great. Phil actually directed the video that we did.
The video is amazing. If
Thank
anybody is
you.
watching this, please go and look at it. It'll bring tears to your eyes. It's
It's really
beautiful.
beautiful.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, it's really something. It's surreal to
Mm-hmm.
be having the conversation with him like 45 years after the fact.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And so, speaking of your father, the world knows that as of yesterday, happy heavenly birthday. And this is one of my favorite quotes. The key to making a great music is authenticity, to be true to yourself and your art. I believe
Absolutely.
that in heaven, he is up there telling the angels, my baby did a thing with this Vanta Black. I
That's
got to say
amazing.
that he is smiling and bragging about you regarding that. So if you could dial up, what song would you hope he was most proudest of on the band?
Oh, I don't know. I hope he would be proud of the whole record and think that it's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I would hope. I would hope all of these songs he would be like, oh, okay. A lot of people ask me like, what would your father? How would he? And I really can't say.
Mm-hmm.
But
Right.
I know that both of my parents are infinitely proud of me, and I work so hard to make sure that the name I carry is respected, and
Mm.
that you understand when you see that name that it's synonymous like with luxury and excellence. Period. End of subject.
That part, that part. And speaking of your mother, so Vanessa Black's title track or the first single was So in Love, and we love it. But
Yeah.
shout out your mama was in the video. I said, that's my girl right
Ain't
there.
she cute?
She's the cutest thing ever. Love her. I remember Minnie Moons. She was the product lady. So I'm at the show and I'm like,
Yes.
she would give us the shirts and give us a
She,
little bit
she
of extra.
did. She
Yes,
did. I had to pull her off that line. I was like, you do not want to be down in those boxes getting t-shirts out of there. Get out of there. But she's actually going with me to Japan,
oh,
and she might do a little bit. I don't know.
little something else. I'm gonna have to get my flight ticket to go over there to see that. But for people that are watching, and a lot of people, I'm a Layla historian, and I want people to understand that we love. She is a mixture of her father and her mother. Her mother
Absolutely.
has musical talents,
Absolutely.
gifted, and so in honor of your mother, I was so happy to see her in the video, and
Yeah.
just wanted people that may not have known that lady, that's Layla's mama, and
I
she
mean, I don't know how you could get it twisted. But I got her whole face. I don't
the
know how
whole
you
face,
twisted. Yeah.
the whole face, the whole face. I love it. And so, with Vanessa Black, the tour, and all of that good stuff. One thing that we love is the fact that you have one of the dopest musical bands in the land, from the background singers to the guitar, everybody. That I call y'all the dynamic trio right here,
Yes.
because
Ooh, ooh,
you
we
look
look cute.
right.
Ooh.
Y'all look good. Y'all look
Now that's a
good.
contour. That's a contour. London should actually be in that photo because he's responsible for all of that face. But
Yes, London
yes,
beats them down,
yes, yes,
honey.
indeed.
So, touring with, why is it so important to you to have such amazing musicians? And then, as an artist, I love the fact that you highlight everybody in your band. Why
Yeah.
is that important to you, Layla?
I mean, you're only as good as the people around you, and I try to surround myself with great musicians.
Mm-hmm.
I love my band. I feel like I'm an amazing musician, so I want to stay around amazing musicians.
Mm-hmm.
They teach me stuff every day. I learn. I have fun with them. We laugh a lot on stage and off. And my band is really, like my family. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? It's very important to me to um, these people that I work with. We're talking all the time, musically or on the phone, or
Mm-hmm.
it's really important to me to stay around people who understand the aesthetic and understand the mission, and get on stage with that instinct, which is to be great. That's very important.
So I see the comments. Everybody was like, Jubu, Jubu.
Yes.
So if y'all didn't know, I'm gonna go ahead and plug them. Y'all make sure
Oh,
buy
look at that.
this album. Y'all make sure you get it. And
Absolutely.
support them all. And speaking of albums,
Hey,
we're gonna talk about it. So,
hey.
all right. So this is a Tayism again. We love streaming music. We do, because it's easy. It's in your cell phone. It's in your
Sure,
car. We love it. It's
sure.
easy, easy, easy. But there is nothing like being able to rip the plastic off of the CD and open it up and
Yes.
read and give all of the credits. Layla puts her projects on vinyl for us so
Yeah.
that we can hear it and we can massage it and touch it. And
Yeah.
so, if you love Lalah Hathaway like I do, download it. That's great. But she's putting
Absolutely.
copies out for us. Layla, tell us why we should get it.
You
Why?
should. The main reason why you should get it. Yesterday, my friend who's on a little carrier that begins with a Verizon that went down for hours yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Once all this stuff goes down, and it's bound to happen.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't own your music, you're not going to be able to get to your music. If something happens with your cloud, you're not going to. This is a separate and apart from the fact that I only make a fraction of a fraction
Of
of
a
a
friend.
per stream. It's if you like something, support it.
Yeah.
Imagine if I walked into your job and said, "I love the way you do your job. I'm going to just keep looking at it." That would be terrible. Imagine if anyone came to you and, I mean, music is, in my mind, music is one of the most important touchstones of
Mm-hmm.
our culture.
Mm-hmm.
And each time we devalue it, we take some of the power out of it.
Yeah.
But what happens is the dude that runs Spotify makes hundreds of millions of dollars a year. So the industry is upside down.
Mm-hmm.
This is what happened with actors and writers over the last couple of years when we saw them striking and we had to watch crap TV for many months.
Yes, that
They
part.
said, we're doing this work and we deserve to be paid for the work we're doing.
Yeah.
And that is the same for musicians. I mean, music is the central element in any event, period. End of subject. There's no arguing that. And so it's very important. I mean, I think the United States is one of only 2 or 3 countries, including China, that doesn't pay performers on the radio. So it's very important to support what you love so you can continue to have it.
I love it. I love it. And so I see in the comments, I see a lot of independent artists out here. And so I know they want to know, what piece of advice do you give any independent artist or any musician that is starting out right now in this industry,
Mm.
based off of your knowledge and your wisdom in the industry? What would you have for them?
This part is always sad because people are always like, well, what advice can you give us about the industry? And I'm like, well, what advice could you give me about the industry? The industry is ever evolving. And so what I have advice and medicine for is learning to be a musician, is being a musician. The industry is on top of what I do. I would be a musician if I had to go to CVS every day because it's what I do. It's in me to do. It's the thing I wake up going to. It's the thing I go to sleep thinking about. I am in my mind all day listening and thinking about music. It is my passion.
Mm.
The music industry of today is a real different animal, and I'm learning how to navigate it just like you are, believe it or not. And I always tell students or any people that I do clinics for, I'm literally only up the road like 6 blocks from where you are in terms of evolution in the music industry. So find your niche, find your path, get on it musically, because the music is really what matters.
Yeah.
If the industry part of it for you is what matters, then you are probably in a conversation with the wrong person.
Mm.
There are people that can probably help you figure out how to game the system, or I don't know. You could maybe use the streaming farms in Malaysia. I don't know. But music, if that's central to your life, then we can talk about music.
That part. Kimberly Jackson, I see you. She says that's very inspiring. Yeah. So if you are a musician, do anything that you love to do, right? Whether it is painting, whether it's a designer, you've got to love that thing, regardless if they're going to pay you or not. Will you still do it, right? And
that's the thing. That's your passion.
Mm-hmm.
You're never working at something that you love, you know?
Yeah. Well, I got to ask, because someone asked me today when they saw me in the shirt, what does this mean? And I said, well, it means
bitch more.
It means enough, right?
Yeah.
It means that I wake up every morning. So Vanessa Black has so many amazing pieces of work musically. It's that put from start to finish. You ain't skipping. It's just that you put it on and you just let it ride all the way out. But this song right here, as a fan from day one, I was shocked.
Were you? Because I was cussing?
I said, she said a cuss word. It was like seeing the lady in church say a cuss word.
That's the granddaddy of cuss words right there. That one right there. So, you know what's crazy? I was sitting in Phil's room, And I don't know what we have been listening to that day, maybe Kendrick.
Okay.
And Kendrick, I I don't want to paraphrase his bars because I'll mess them all up. But suffice it to say that Kendrick said something like, um, "I would like for the people that were watching you on stage to forget you were even there."
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, how poignant. That is how I feel. In a non competitive with other singers and musicians kind of way,
Mm-hmm.
but it is my aim to kill every time. I want to be great. I want to be the greatest of all time.
And
And
you are.
so, thank you. And so I said, how can I say this with a pretty smile and a nice demure, very demure
Because
attitude?
just so you know, that's what got us. That's
Yeah.
it's the intro. It's the intro. So it's like, I'm your idol's favorite. I said, this your collar. And so when you're creating, I've always just wanted to know what made her be bold. Because a lot of times I know, I watch you and you're so humble and you're like, I just love what I do. To you, you just are like, yeah,
Yeah.
I just do it. But you're so dope. And so
I
now
I
I'm like,
appreciate it. I still feel humble even within that, but I feel like, I talked it with Phil many times. I said, can I say I'm the best in the motherfucking world? Can I say that out loud? He said, I don't know why you wouldn't.
we love Phil. I love Phil.
I mean, you cannot. I get these things on Twitter a lot where people will say, you'll maybe say something and they'll say, well, who are you? You don't have a diamond album or a platinum album, as if that means anything about your talent. You know, it's not a game like basketball
Mm-hmm.
where we can see who puts up the most, or who wins the most races, or who can run the fastest.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's really an unquantifiable discipline. Who
Mm-hmm.
is the best? In my mind, my father is the best singer of all time. I have no doubt in my mind that that is what that is. But
Mm-hmm.
in your mind, it could be someone else. And I mean, it's meant to be that way. Art is meant to be, it is subjective. It is poetry, and everybody meets it on the road at whatever intersection they are at.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, at this point in my life, I just, I really want to be the best in the motherfucking world at all of it. I really, I really wrote a lot of affirmations on this record. I am, I really wanted to declare some things and start to manifest some things. And I hope that other people do that too. I hope that's the fight song for people.
Yeah.
And when I played it for my guy, he was like, "Oh, that's the one that people are gonna gravitate toward. That's gonna be everybody's getting ready song. That's the one." And
Cause
so
you put your whole swag on. I know I do in the morning. Cause some mornings I'm like, praise is what I do. But if I need an extra little oomph, I'm the best in the motherfucker. Where cause I have to tell
you
myself,
have
you
to,
have to with
and
so
you have to believe that.
that part. You've
It's
got
really important to believe it. And I heard Oprah say once, you can think you're great at something, you can tell yourself you're great at something, you can study, you can pay money and buy all the things that go with it. But if you don't believe it, all of that is for naught.
mm-hmm.
And I truly believe that thing. I just believe it. And so it was about time I started saying it out loud.
Well, everybody, make sure that you get your copy of Vance of Black. Now, go ahead. The Amazon will give you the CD, or you can go to LalahHathaway.com and you go
Right?
ahead and get that vinyl. You go
Yeah.
ahead and get the vinyl. You go ahead and get it because you need to understand uh, all of the greatness that is in this particular project. One last question before we go, because the Layla Holics want to know. One of the Tiffany, if you're on Tiffany, this is your question. So shout out all of the Layla Holics. They said, now that the tour is over, what's your favorite way to decompress after being on the road and being away from home. So they want to know, how are you relaxing
Am
after the
I relaxing? Is that what's happening? I leave again tomorrow. I have a gig in Phoenix. Um, Decompression. I'm playing a lot of video games. I'm on my VR. I'm watching some television, catching up on my shows.
What show does Lalah Hathaway watch?
Well, tonight I'm watching Survivor. That's my show. I've been watching Survivor since forever.
Would you go on Survivor?
No, and I'll tell you why. Because I thought I could. I thought, okay, my social game might be okay.
Mm-hmm.
But A, I don't swim worth a damn.
Me either.
That's number one.
Mm-hmm.
Number two, one time I was on a flight and they got back to my seat and said they were out of food, and I almost cried. So I know that if an hour and a half brought me to a tear, I'll never make it for 31 days. I'll never make it now. Mm-mm.
Well, we know. Make sure don't have you be hangry. We do not want you hangry.
No,
That's
no,
not going to work. That's not
no.
going to work. Well, I know you've got some cruises. Y'all make sure to follow her on LalahHathaway.com. If she comes to your city, I love to go to shows, and I always ask everybody in my row, is this your first time? Are you a new time? That is my thing, because I love when someone has never seen you live. I like to look at them when the light bulb and the awe.
Me too.
I just am like,
Me
I love
too.
it. I love it.
I really want people to sign up for our bands in town too, because a lot of times with this algorithm being like it is, people don't even know I'm coming.
Oh,
So sign up and get your notice for when we're coming. But were you in the room with that lady that continued to videotape my show after I asked her to stop?
so I wanted to touch on that too. So a lot of people get upset because they don't understand why you do that. And I was in DC. It was at the Howard Theater. You did a show many moons ago, and I was like, yes, we're about to Lalah Hathaway. And you said, hello. If they wanted to get a ticket, they should have got one. Can you just be in the moment? And so I so respected that, and I enjoyed just jamming out
in the moment. Yeah. Or get your one song. Everybody records Angel. I know. And that's fine. But then put your phone down and let me see your eyes.
Yeah.
But even if you don't, when I ask you, then please. Because somebody could have been sitting up front that couldn't afford to sit up front that really wants to see the show and not through their phone. Yeah. It's annoying because you cheating yourself. It never sounds good on the phone.
Never.
It's never going to look good on the phone. And the man said, we capture in the moment. And I mean, I feel like this is true. You'll never capture a moment. Mm-hmm. It's like putting lightning in a bottle. The moment is when our eyes meet and we have a moment. They got it wrong out here.
They do. Because at the Atlanta show, when you did Separate Ways, I swear you were singing it to me. I said, for that brief moment, because I love New Lalah, but I love when you do a show and you take us to so many different parts of the evolution of you. And love. People were crying because that was, they were like, that's my favorite. And, so if she comes anywhere close to your city, I'm telling you, if you've seen her once, go see her 1,000,000 times, because each time it's so different, and she is worth the money. I'm a concert snob, and I go to many shows. She's worth the money.
Give her your money.
Give her your money. She gave us a hat. She gave us a bag.
You got all the things.
All the things.
Yes.
Worth it. And so she's my fave. If you've never heard of Lalah Hathaway and you're watching this and you're like, who is this lady? I'm telling you, trust me when I say she is the best in the motherfucking world. I done said it. It is what it is. And she's a woman of her word. I love her to death. She said, hey, we're going to do this interview. And she made it happen. And so for that, I'm already a fan, but I will forever be a Lalah-holic. And just thank you for giving us good music. And y'all already know this is my last episode at home. So I said, I wanted Layla. I listen to Layla at home every
Where will you go? Where will you go now?
now. It didn't hit. Now Live with Tay has a studio, y'all. We got a
Ooh.
yo, it is cute. So y'all make sure y'all subscribe to Live with Tay, the YouTube channel, because y'all could go to Tamron Hall, you could go to J Hub, but pretty soon everybody is gonna be coming to Live with Tay.
Congratulations. You're expanding your territory, young lady.
I am. It's all because of my affirmation. Because
There you go.
I'm telling you, this project has sent me full speed ahead. And so, if you've liked this episode, which I'm sure that you have, make sure that you hit the subscribe button, like, comment, share, all that good stuff. Let all of your friends know about this, so then they know about this one over here, because she's just so amazing. And until next time, y'all, this your girl Tay, having real conversations with dope people you should know, like Lalah Hathaway, and always keeping you informed of places and events and dope music like Vanta Black that you need to go ahead and check out. So until next time, y'all, this your girl Tay. I'm out. Bye, y'all.